Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I will be showing you the books that I have chosen to put on my winter reading list. I have 6 books here and I'm really excited to read all of them. One of them I have read before and it is in a series and I'm really excited to start that series again. I believe that there's probably by now new books out in this series that I haven't read before, and instead of just jumping right into those, I thought I would just restart the entire series as I did really enjoy it the first time that I read it. So I will start with that book, and it is this one right here. It is called City of Bones by Cassandra Clare. This is part of the Mortal Instruments series. It is book 1. And I love this series so much. I also have the movie that they created based on this first book here. I don't think that that movie had as best of reviews as they were expecting or hoping for, so they never went on to make any more movies. However, Netflix has picked this series up and has created a TV series out of this book series, and I love it. I've only watched the first season on Netflix, and I'm really excited to watch the second one because I know it is also out right now on Netflix. So I'll just read the little blurb on the back of this so you guys know what it's about in case you aren't familiar with it. When Clary Frey heads out to the Pandemonium Club in New York City, she hardly expects to witness a murder, much less a murder committed by 3 teenagers covered with odd markings. This is Clary's first meeting with the Shadowhunters, warriors dedicated to ridding the earth of demons and keeping the odd werewolf and vampires in line. It's also her first meeting with the gorgeous golden-haired Jace. Within 24 hours, Clary is pulled into Jace's world with a vengeance, when her mother disappears and Clary herself is attacked by a demon. But why would demons be interested in an ordinary mundane like Clary? And how did she suddenly get the sight? The Shadowhunters would like to know. So I do know already that I'm going to love this book because, like I said, I've read it before. If you guys have not picked up this series, I seriously recommend it. It is so good. The second book on my winter reading list is another Stephen King book. I am a sucker for Stephen King. I have not read this book before. This is his book called Misery. I have no clue what it's about, but I am really excited to find out. So let's read the little caption on the back. There isn't one. Let's see if there is one inside. I found it on the inside cover. Your #1 fan, Misery. Paul Sheldon. He's a best-selling novelist who has finally met his biggest fan. Her name is Annie Wilkes, and she is more than a rabid reader. She is Paul's nurse, tending his shattered body after an automobile accident. But she is also his captor, keeping him prisoner in her isolated home. Now Annie wants Paul to write his greatest work just for her. She has a lot of ways to spur him on. One is a needle, another is an axe. And if they don't work, she can get really nasty. Interesting. So basically it sounds like it's a book about kidnapping and he's maybe a writer or something. I'm really excited to find out more and see what this book really is about. If you have previously watched my reading list videos, you will probably recognize this author's name. This is another Molly McAdams book, and this one is called Trusting Liam. So I have read Taking Chances and Forgiving Lies before, and this is kind of a side story to those books. And so I'm really excited to find out what this one is about. A secret that could destroy it all. When Kennedy Ryan moves to California, she never expects to come face to face with Liam Taylor, the intriguing man she hasn't been able to forget. Somehow, Liam managed to get Kennedy to let down her guard for a single night of passion that ended up meaning more than it was ever supposed to. Accustomed to disastrous experiences with men, Kennedy shields herself before Liam can break down more of the carefully built control she's clung to for the last 4 years. But every time she sees him, she feels her resolve weakening. Liam Taylor has been asked to befriend his boss's nieces, but what starts out as a reluctant favor ends up leading Liam to the only girl who ever slipped away before morning, a girl he thought he'd never find again. And now that she's within reach, Liam's determined to never let her go. When a secret from her past tests their relationship, Will they be able to cling to the trust Liam has worked so hard to build? So, of course, this sounds amazing, as all of Molly McAdams' books have been since I've started reading her novels. I am really excited to open the pages and get into this one. The next two books on my list I have received from bookoutlet.com. I have mentioned this website in one of my reading list videos before, but I'll just quickly mention it again. Book Outlet is a website where you can get all kinds of books, not just fictional novels, but like cookbooks, autobiographies, comics, I believe, like every type of book you kind of want. You can find on bookoutlet.ca, and it is amazing, and all of them are at discounted prices, or they also have scratch and dent copies, which may just have like a little bit of damage on the outside of the book, but nothing that would interfere with reading the actual story inside, and that would obviously be at a cheaper price yet. So like I said, the next two books are from bookoutlet.ca. I will link Book Outlet's information down below in the description box so you guys can check it out. I do recommend, because I have put together a few orders from Book Outlet and I have loved every book that I've received. The next book is by an author I've never heard of before, and it is called Rome in Love, and it's by Anita Hughes. Anything to do with Rome or Italy, I'm gonna buy it, because Italy is my favorite place in the world. I was lucky enough to travel there about a decade ago already, which is crazy, but anything to do with Rome I'm going to pick up and read. So I'm really excited to find out what this book is about, so let's read the back. Amelia Tate is this year's It Girl. Cast to play Audrey Hepburn's role in a remake of Roman Holidays, she finds her wildest Italian dreams have come true. She has a handsome boyfriend, is portraying her idol in a major motion picture, and gets to live in beautiful Rome for the next 2 months. The Dolce Vita is everything Amelia hoped for and more. She finds an unexpected friend in the hotel laundry room, a charming young woman named Sophie. Together, they discover all the amazing riches that Rome has to offer. But when Amelia's boyfriend breaks up with her over her acting career, the Eternal City begins to feel more like a prison than a palace. Amelia accidentally discovers a stack of letters written by the real Audrey Hepburn in her old hotel suite that starts to put life into perspective. Then she meets Philip, a handsome journalist who is under the impression that she is a hotel maid, and it appears as if things are looking up again. The problem is she can never find the right time to tell Philip her true identity. Not to mention that Philip has a few secrets of his own. Can Amelia finally have both the career and love that she's always wanted, or will she be forced to choose between the two? With her signature descriptive imagery, Anita Hughes brings the beautiful sights, decadent food, and high fashions of Rome to life in her enchanting 5th novel. This sounds so good, guys. Like I said, anything to do with Rome and I am intrigued, and you have me hooked. So I'm really excited to read this book. The next book is one called Come Back to Me, and it is by an author called Mila Gray. I have never heard of this author as well. This is, like I said, another purchase I received from Book Outlet's website. I read the blurb and it just sounded good to me, and just from the image on the front of the book, it looks like a Nicholas Sparks kind of style story, and so right there I knew that I needed to buy it. So I'm really excited to find out what this one's about, so let's have a look and read. At 11, Jessa first met Kit Ryan. At 14, her crush began, and now she's fallen in love. A fellow Marine like her brother Riley, Kit is off limits, and Jessa knows better than to give in to her feelings for her brother's best friend. But when Kit arrives home on leave for the summer, Jessa can't help but sense a change in him. He's talking to her differently, looking at her differently, touching her differently. Kit's tired of hiding his feelings for Jessa. The one girl he can't have is the one girl he wants, the one girl he needs. Risking everything, the two decide to act upon their mutual attraction and embark on a summer romance that eventually blossoms into love. It's wonderful, it's magical, it's perfect. Until Kit redeploys. Neither Kit nor Jessa are ready to say goodbye. Instead, they make promises to each other. Jessa will wait for Kit, and no matter how long it takes, Kit will come back to her. but something more than distance and time plans to rip them apart as Jessa learns that someone she loves is dead, killed overseas. All Jessa can do is wait to hear the name of the loved one she's lost, her brother or her boyfriend, Riley or Kit. That sounds so intense and so good. I'm pretty sure this is a book that I'm going to fly through, so I'm really excited to start reading this one as well. Like I've said with every single book so far on this reading list, so I have a feeling these books are going to be easy to get through. The last and final book on my reading list is one that I have borrowed from my friend Caitlin, and this is called Someday, Someday Maybe, and it is by an author named Lauren Graham. Now, if you don't know, Lauren Graham is an actress, and she is best known for her role in Gilmore Girls playing the character Lorelai. And I am obsessed with Gilmore Girls. I love that show to pieces, and Lorelai was such a funny character. And just watching like the behind the scenes information on all of the seasons, Lauren Graham seems like such a really beautiful and down-to-earth person. So I kind of wanted to read this book and see what I thought about her writing skills. I know my friend Caitlin wasn't a huge fan of this book, so I will have to see what I think for myself. But let's just take a read and see what this is about. It is a fictional novel, so it's not anything to do with Lauren Graham's personal life. From Lauren Graham, the beloved star of Gilmore Girls and Parenthood, comes a witty, charming, and hilariously relatable debut novel about a struggling young actress trying to get ahead and keep it together in New York City. It's January 1995, and Franny Banks has just 6 months left of the 3-year deadline she set for herself when she came to New York, dreaming of Broadway and doing important work. But all she has to show for her efforts so far is a part in an ad for ugly Christmas sweaters and a gig waiting tables at a comedy club. Her roommates, her best friend Jane, and Dan, an aspiring sci-fi writer, are supportive, yet Franny knows a 2-person fan club doesn't exactly count as success. Everyone tells her she needs a backup plan, and though she can almost picture moving back home and settling down with her perfectly nice ex-boyfriend, she's not ready to give up on her goal of having a career like her idols Diane Keaton and Meryl Streep. Not just yet, but while she dreams of filling their shoes in the meantime, she'd happily settle for a speaking part in almost anything and finding a hair product combination that works. Everything is riding on the upcoming showcase for her acting class, where she'll finally have a chance to perform for people who could actually hire her. And she can't let herself be distracted by James Franklin, a notorious flirt and the most successful actor in her class, even though he's suddenly started paying attention. Meanwhile, her bank account is rapidly dwindling, her father wants her to come home, and her agent doesn't return her calls. But for some reason, she keeps believing that she just might get what she came for. Someday, Someday Maybe is a story about hopes and dreams, being young in a city, and wanting something deeply, madly, desperately. It's about finding love, finding yourself, and perhaps most difficult of all, in New York, finding an acting job. So this is the final book on my reading list. I'm really excited about this one as well. Like I said, I love Lauren Graham herself, so I'm really excited to see how she fares as an author as well. But those are all the books on my winter reading list. I am going to sign off now and start reading the very first book on this list. I cannot wait to get through these books. So that is it for today's video. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please make sure to give this video a thumbs up and also hit the subscribe button down below if you haven't already. I post weekly videos every single Wednesday. All of my social media will be listed down below in the description box, as well as at the end of this video, so you can follow me on all of my social media platforms. And I think that's it for now, guys. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next Wednesday. Bye!